This is Montana This Morning.
I'm Megan Thompson here in Deer Lodge on a parcel of property that is proposed to become a mixture of family homes, apartments, and townhomes. Coming right up, we'll hear from the community about how they feel about that.
The Supreme Court weighs whether former President Trump is immune from federal criminal prosecution. I'm Skylar Henry in Washington as the High Court considers whether he could be tried for his actions leading up to and on January 6th.
I'm Joe St. George. Are you looking less at gym memberships and more at prescription drugs to lose weight? We look at the fight to get more weight loss medications covered by insurance. That's next.
I'm Jonathan Ambarian in Helena. I'll give you a closer look at a statewide inventory intended to show how widespread lead service lines may be in Montana water systems.
Alrighty, it is 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Jay McDonald and Matt Elwell with you. Well, I gotta say, that moon, it was beautiful and bright all week long, but I think some of these clouds, it's finally feel a little bit more like early morning.
And by the time these clouds clear, the moon won't be quite as full. So
no, gotta wait another month, I guess.
That's right. Early morning temperatures. It is warm to start the morning. A lot of 40s in Montana.
Get a tank top out.
I don't know that I'm ready quite for that, but definitely warmer to start the morning with that cloud cover and some rain showers that have been out. It's mainly on the light side. Will probably impact areas like Gallatin County, parts of Madison County, Park County, and then areas eastward during the morning. The afternoon, heavier downpours are possible as we get into the mid part of the day. The atmosphere becomes a little bit more volatile. Not necessarily severe weather worthy, but it is going to bring some heavy rain showers to parts of the area. Highs today should be a little cooler than it was yesterday. We're talking low to mid 60s for most of the area. Lighter wind overall. We're going to break down what our weekend has in store coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, some people in Deer Lodge have concerns about a new subdivision. MTN's Megan Thompson spoke with people who wonder why they're just learning about this development that's apparently been in the works for more than a year.
Well, there are big plans in the works for this parcel of property located on the edge of Deer Lodge. Many in the city say that it could be a way to reach attainable housing for the city, but others still have questions.
I want to make sure that everything that's being done is fully transparent to the community. I want to be sure that we're not looking at building big and bringing in big britches, if you will.
Courtney Racely is a teacher, a 4-H leader, and an adjacent property owner to one of the two proposed building sites. She's concerned that while the city and developers have been meeting for over a year, the community only recently found out about the subdivision plans.
I want to make sure that everything that's being done is fully transparent. We have members of the community that need to be taken care of first. And this is happening all over our country right now, where people with money are coming in and then our locals fizzle out, and I don't want to see that happen here.
This is going to be affordable housing?
So the housing is as attainable as it can be considering the current market.
We're really passionate about attainable housing. We're not trying to build houses that are for only a very select few people. We're trying to build homes that will appeal to a broad audience, and we're trying to build something that is going to be here for a very long time to come.
Did you feel like you got your questions answered?
Yes and no. Part of the problem is some of my neighbors, as well as myself, have flooding issues from these fields that are being developed on yearly. And I don't know that due diligence has been appropriately done. For years, these fields have been deemed wetlands, and it was only in a matter of the past couple of weeks that a delineation has been done.
Developer Lynn Hicks and his team say they hope to break ground in the middle of May on the Beaumont subdivision. In Deer Lodge, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
And today, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments over whether former President Donald Trump can be criminally prosecuted or not. The outcome could have major implications on special counsel's 2020 election interference case against Trump, as well as for this year's presidential race. CBS News' Skylar Henry has more from the Supreme Court.
Another historic day at the U.S. Supreme Court, where justices will soon hear arguments to decide if former President Donald Trump has absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for official actions he took while in office.
If a president doesn't have full immunity, you really don't have a president.
Two lower courts have already rejected Trump's claims of immunity. The High Court's decision would determine whether or not special counsel Jack Smith can move forward with his case, charging Trump with scheming to overturn the 2020 presidential election results, which Trump denies.
They've never recognized this sort of immunity from criminal prosecution that Trump is requesting. So I think it's a pretty uphill battle for the Trump side.
If the court rules against the former president's immunity claims, his election interference trial could possibly start before the election this November. Though the court could also decide to send the case back to the lower courts. Legal experts say that would also add even more delays to the proceedings.
The Supreme Court understands that time is of the essence here and that all sides and the public all want a prompt decision, whatever that may be.
The Supreme Court's decision is expected to come by early July. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
And today, former President Trump will be in a Manhattan courthouse as required for his criminal trial there, which accuses him of falsifying business records to hide an alleged past affair ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump has publicly said that the judge in that case denied his request to be in Washington for today's Supreme Court arguments. Now, it is a hot topic in the medical and in the health communities. Should weight loss drugs be covered by more insurance to encourage more widespread use? Our Joe St. George looks at the fight to cover obesity like any other illness and why Congress may need to step in.
Maybe you're like me and managing your weight has been a lifelong journey. I work out and generally this is the best that I can do. If you're trying to lose weight, there's a good chance that you've searched not online for a gym membership recently, but about weight loss medication. It's a big topic in the healthcare community. There's a few issues though. They can be expensive, may require a certain diagnosis in order to get covered, and that's where potentially the government comes in. Everyone wants to step on the scale and feel good, but that isn't always the way that most Americans feel. In fact, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 4 in 10 Americans face obesity. And that is where drugs like Ozempic and its related drug Wegovy may help. It's been FDA approved for weight loss and reducing the risk of heart attacks and strokes in adults who are overweight. There's only one problem, though. Changing the numbers on the scale via prescription drugs remains too costly for many Americans.
The real problem in the United States of America is that obesity as a disease state is not a standard benefit on insurance. It should be a standard benefit like other diseases.
Dr. Angela Fitch is the president of the Obesity Medicine Association. She says the issue that's preventing more Americans from accessing these drugs is cost and uncharted territory for insurance companies. Right now, out-of-pocket costs for Wegovy, she says, averages more than $1,000 a month, a bill that is untenable for many Americans. Fitch says the reason that obesity-fighting drugs are getting treated differently is outdated law.
We carved it out years ago because it was considered aesthetic. So we carved it out many years ago out of insurance because it was considered cosmetic. And we know now not cosmetic. So we shouldn't carve it out anymore.
Fitch and others in her group are lobbying Congress to step in. She wants to start with Medicare. The Treat and Reduce Obesity Act would allow Medicare to cover weight loss drugs for weight loss. And if Medicare covers it, the theory is that many private insurance companies would follow suit. Medicare did recently announce that weight loss drugs would soon be covered for those with Part D coverage, but the patient must demonstrate a heart-related illness. Fitch believes it should be covered before an overweight American has a heart attack or receives that heart disease diagnosis. Why wait, she says.
It's our biggest public health crisis of today.
That legislation, though, faces an uphill battle in the current Congress. The outcome of this year's election could be critical, and other weight loss fights appear to be brewing. Senator Bernie Sanders last week released a statement calling on drug companies to reduce the price of weight loss drugs after it was reported in one study that some weight loss drugs could be produced for less than $5 a month. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
And over the next 6 months, more than 1,000 water systems across Montana will need to complete an initial assessment on whether they have lead in their service lines. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Amberian has a closer look at that program.
For the last few years, the Montana Department of Environmental Quality has been working with schools to help them identify sources of lead in their drinking water. Now, they're helping out with a much wider lead inventory.
This is a much bigger undertaking.
The federal government has updated its rules controlling lead and copper in drinking water. As part of that, they've given water systems until this fall to make an inventory of lead in service lines, the pipes running between water mains and the customer. Leaders say even low levels of lead in drinking water can have health impacts, especially for children. I asked Greg Montgomery with DEQ how common lead service lines are in Montana.
I don't think we know yet. I mean, that was one of the main purposes of this inventory requirement.
This rule applies to community water systems from cities, towns, and subdivisions, plus some buildings like schools that have their own systems. Montgomery says 1,065 individual systems across the state will be doing the inventory. 77 of them have already completed their work, including places like East Helena, where the work was easier because they made records on all the service lines decades ago. In other areas, leaders may have to follow up directly with customers to inspect their lines. The Montana Department of Commerce is also giving public water systems a chance to apply for technical assistance.
If a system applies for that, the Commerce can assign them a contractor to assist them in doing their inventory at no cost to them.
In the coming years, Montgomery says the information from these inventories will be key as leaders make plans on how to replace lead service lines. Water systems have until October 16th to get their initial inventories done. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
And mosquitoes are little bugs that can cause big problems. And in western Montana's Frenchtown, the pests are bothering golfers at King Ranch. MTN's Emily Brown found out how they're solving the issue with mushrooms in this morning's Positively Montana report.
It's a major complaint because no one wants to go out and play golf and get hit with mosquitoes all day long. They are so bad here, it feels like we don't do anything about them, but it is something that we constantly do.
Superintendent of King Ranch Golf Course in Frenchtown, Andrew Leiter, was tired of bugging out over mosquitoes on the green.
I was at a learning class at 9 Mile, and they just kind of out of nowhere soft pitched that they had a trap.
At that meeting, Leiter connected with Husson's Garden City fungi, who around 4 years ago discovered they could trap mosquitoes by using mycelium.
Mushroom mycelium, it's really the base of the world.
Garden City combines the rooting network of a mushroom with sawdust to emit a lot of carbon dioxide, which attracts mosquitoes.
The CO2 will be emitted from that container, and in the morning time when the sun comes up, this pump turns on and sucks the mosquito eggs into the filter at the bottom of the pump.
Craig Belanger brought traps to the golf course to help out.
We've had 6 of them here at King Ranch Golf Course. They'll cover, a couple of acres, 2 to 3 acres.
And it seems like the lures are working.
Now that's our main way of controlling massive swaths of populations. I've seen less mosquitoes.
In Frenchtown, Emily Brown, MTN News.
And a choral concert is being held this weekend in Butte that promises to bring a message of hope and to pull people out of despair. Fred Crace is directing the Mining City Choral Union and Montana Tech's Copper Hill Choir in concert called Hope as Far as One Can See. It will feature an interesting arrangement of mostly modern songs sung by a choir. It is a message that Crace says he hopes will uplift those that are feeling run down in a time of great negativity.
Recognizing that it's okay to go through that journey, like everyone goes through it, hitting bottom of despair and darkness and mental health crises and things of that nature, and then everyone can come out of it as well.
The show is at Sunday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Aldersgate United Methodist Church. The price is $15 for adults and $10 for students and for senior citizens. I think it'll be a great thing, a really cool cause,
that would be a
too.
neat thing to go see.
I think so too. Now, speaking of neat things, we're going to go over to Virginia for this next story. We're actually going to kind of crash a field trip for this group of 4th graders who I think are doing one of the coolest classroom projects ever. Now, they got these trout eggs as little eggs. They learned all about the life cycle of the trout, raised them as fries, were able to really take a look at the ecology, the habitat research, and finally, they were able to see them off to a
That's
local
awesome.
river.
What a cool project.
Isn't that cool? It's called Trout in the Classroom. So kids really get a front row view of the life cycle of a trout. They get awesome opportunity, hands-on, to release these little guys into the wild. I think it's just a really cool idea.
I do too, and anything that's educating our young people about the ecology of the fisheries and wildlife, I think is great.
I do too. So pretty neat stuff. I really loved that program. Now, we're going to take a short break here on Montana This Morning, but when we come back, a recent CDC report shows roughly a third of measles cases since 2020 have occurred in the first few months of the year. Well, we're going to check in how 2024 is shaping up and how measles cases continue to grow in the United States.